Okay, so now your first time what the about my channel is so this channel is meant for tech trainings, and over the past few weeks I've been teaching networking, but as a multi-tech person who is or who has knowledge in systems administration, that is when it comes to networking and server management or infrastructure management, IT infrastructure management, and also I'm a data analyst as well as a software developer. And I think I've posted a bit on data analytics and mostly on networking. Internet, a lot of people have been hitting me up about software. I specialize in web development or web app development. Internet, maybe musi de be design a simple login form to call website bina or login. You see the username and the password. Until that is what we're gonna learn today. Now I'll be using just HTML and CSS. Into your front end guy, you mostly deal with the front end that interfaces with the user. If you follow me, you can be able to learn how to code from this channel. It is your first time. Depending on where you are watching it from. If it's YouTube, subscribe to the channel. Say a TikTok, so follow me and like the videos. Until waste much time. If you are new here, just do what I've said. Share the videos, like the videos, then you learn. Until let's go to our VS Code and answer your computer and so now you're starting coding. Okay, until your VS Code no so na yabano. Until now we're going to quickly create our login form. Until first of all, VS Code is the interface. Later I'll show you around. But then the focus near the form. Until I already have the image file here, I had the background. Then the other say you click on new file. Then you give it a name. Friend index.html because that will be the file that will have our HTML codes. Into VS Code, what type the exclamation mark now me a tab so insert the HTML structure na the amount. So the structure, the first part is the document type, which is HTML. Into this tells the browser that this document is an HTML document. Then we have the HTML opening and closing tag. And also you see the lang equal to English. That is language is equal to English. The language that we are using is English. Then inside the HTML opening and closing tag, we will have, or you see the head tag, then also the body tag. In the head tag, you see some metadata information in there. So UTF-8, that's the character set. Then we have viewport, which scales 1.0. So this viewport, what it does, let's say, page I'll be creating web page I'll be creating. So here a mobile phone, so a best scale to the viewport of a mobile phone. Or here tablet, so I to scale. Or here a laptop, so TV screen. And I say any screen size, a best scale to the screen size. Then title, mostly will be browser BR. You see, say there is some kind of titles be on the browser. Into that is where this is what handles it. Into way your best friend a login form because they be creating login form. Into your browser and will give us that login form. To quickly let me open the file into any index. Into there's the title now make some login form. So we don't have anything yet. Now let's create our codes. In the body a one your best start here I create codes I'll start by creating my div. Div is a container, or it's like a container that will host all your elements or tags that you create for your page. Picture is as a container. This div, because the main container, and I'll give it a class of login container. I want it to relate to what we are doing. I can just call it container, that's fine, but I want it to relate to the AN. Class is, when you, after using HTML to create the foundation of your page, you need CSS to style it. And mostly in CSS, you call classes or IDs. When we look at CSS, I will explain what classes and IDs are. But for now, they also say you be here classes not to style the web page. All right. So inside this container, this is where all our other content will go. I will need a title. So I'll use H2 for the title, and the title will be login. H2 or H2 tag or H tag is used for creating titles or headers. Our H1 up to H6. 1 near can say 2 ediso, 3, 4, then 6 is the list. 2 use H6 are text in the back to H1 text in the back can say 2 in that manner. Until we have our H2 or the title, then the main form will also go inside this form tag. Because it's a big creative form, a login form, we will need the form tag. Then inside the form tag, we'll create another div. Then this div, we give it a class of form group. So and only identify our inputs. Okay. Into the class will be form group or input. Let me make it input group. And simple. The input group, that means that is how we are naming our inputs. Into the first input text box now will type you. You just use the input tag, then the type is text. First one will be username. It will take a text, then we'll call it username. Name username, mostly when you are submitting the user not type to the database, you mostly use the name. This name will hold whatever the user types, then it submits to the backend. And also we will talk about it later on. The creative placeholder. So placeholder only tells, or it's a hint or a clue that tells the user what to type. Then I'll use the required constraint. So this required constraint or validation is a JavaScript validation, which tells you or tells the box that field is required. To our mobile and you can proceed. Until I'll copy this, I'll need 2 input boxes. Until the second one will be the password. So the type will be password. Then the name will also be password. Type password means when you type something there, it will be recognized as a password. Now I'm masking or I'm a dot. So it will not be revealed. Okay. Then the next one will be the button. So we will use the button tag to create it. Button, then it will be a login. The name will be login button. Then the type will be a submit button. So type equal to submit. Okay, then we also give it a class because button and so your best style. Till say a class name into your best friend login dash button. Then the last one will be forgotten password or forgot password. Until we will call it forgot password. Then it will be a normal link. In HTML, we use the anchor tag to create links. Let me delete this. Into A. Mostly in VS Code, say obo tag bia obo A now me a tab no so a tab key it completes the code for you. Okay. Into href is the reference link. Maybe I will create a page that will handle password resets. Okay, then we'll call it forgot password. So let's look at how our form looks like at this stage. So I open this, refresh. Now there's what we have. It doesn't look nice. There's just raw HTML. Into Hanomna CSS comes in to style it. So we are going to style the form with CSS. Yeah, well, 3 ways to add CSS or styling to our web page. So we can either use the internal styling, whereby we will create a style tag inside the head of the HTML document, and I say we can create a file called maybe style.css, then write all the CSS codes here. Use method where I friend external CSS, or you do an inline. Inline means you write the styles inside the tags. To maybe style, then you provide the style. But you be used to the inline method. Into quickly, let's style the body. Until you type the body, then we want a margin of 0. Yempese borders be the background and the body now. The body is the entire space, or the entire space, white space that we saw. So we want a margin of 0, padding of 0. The MP spaces be around the body. Okay, then we will do a display of flex. Then after that, we do what else? We put justify content. Into content, and that is form now you're creating. We want it to be shifted to the center. Then we also justify items to the center. That is text now. Into let's see, let me comment this and let's see how it looks before. To this will push it to the center. Then we do what again? Let's see, let me uncomment this. So you just select or control, then you press on the question mark on the keyboard. So this is how it is. Then so we are done with the body, but we will insert background as well. Into what I'll do is we want, okay, this should be aligned. Let's align it in the center. So we are going to align items to the center rather. So let's see how it aligns them. Okay, it seems the justify content and align items, well, difference room there. Then we will create a height of 100 VH. So what this does is we want the background to be to have a full, or we want the web page to have a full background from top to bottom, left to right, fully covered. So you use a height of 100 VA. Then we will set a background image. So I'll use background. Then you call the URL of the image. That's the location of your image. So my image, I'll choose the banner image. So let me save and let's see what we have. Okay, so there's the image. Now, once you put in the image, the login pushes to the center. So the align item center takes care of that. Then the image, we want to apply some, properties to it. So we want no repeat. Then we want center. Then we want fixed. So center will push it to, we'll make sure that the image is pushed to the center like this. Then we have to make sure that it covers all the gap. So we will use the background size. So background size, then we use what? Cover. So this will make sure that the image covers the entire space. Yeah. So we are done with the background. But then we want the background to be a bit darker. So what I'll do is I'll use the background blend mode. So background blend mode, where is it? So VS Code gives you IntelliSense. So IntelliSense means it suggests the code to you. So we want to use overlay. Then the color that we want to use as overlay. And as a color, the person overlay. We call it so background color. By use RGB. So RGBA. Then we provide the code. So 0. No. Let's use 10. Then what else? 10. Then 4. Another 4. Then we use 0.856. So this is kind of a transparent background. Let's see how it looks. Okay, so we get that feeling. So we need to style the form itself. Until let's go and style it. Till we are done with the body. Now let's look at the login container. Until to style it, to call a class to style, we use the period, then login dash container. So inside the login container, what are we going to style? We want to style, all that we need here is, we want the form to be to have a transparent background, which it has already. I don't think, let's see, what can we even do? Okay, let's see. Let's give it a background. So background, we can give it a background color of, let's say, I'm just trying this red. But in our case, we want it to be transparent. So this is what red will do, but we don't want red. So I'll give it a background of transparent. Then I'll give it, so it's background color, even though background and background color is the same. Then we'll give it, let's see, since we are not creating a background, all these doesn't really matter, but we could have given it a padding of 30 pixels. Okay, wait, let's do this so that at least you get the feeling. So padding 30 pixels. Then we give it a border radius. So border radius is the edges, the curves at the edges. Okay, so the curves at the edges, let's see, maybe we'll give it 10 pixels. Then we give it a width of, let's say, 300 pixels. That's the width of the background or the card that we want to use. Then let's see if we can give it a box shadow. So box shadow is the shadows that you see around cards. So 0, 4 pixels, then 8 pixels, then we give it an RGBA of, no, there is it for the, so RGB of 0, 0, 0 again, then 0.2 pixels. So let's see the effect. No. Okay. So let's see the effect of what we've done. This one, I want it to be white. So ideally, if we want a background, this is what we will get. Then, but as I said, I want it to be transparent. So all that I need to do is just put transparent here. So I just wanted to show you how, if you want to put background there, you can do it. So we want it to be transparent, right? Okay. So the next thing that we need to do is to style. So I'll just make a copy. Style the H2 title. I'll say a man of color of black. White. So the hex color for white is hash F, 6 Fs. But if you use 3 Fs, it will still work. Ideally, hex is 6, but 3 Fs is the same as 6 Fs. So we have our white. Then I'll style the input group. So I'll just make a copy of this. Then I'll change this to input group. So copy and paste helps you to go faster a bit. Input group. So we are now targeting the input itself. Yes. So this, and this. So what we need to do first is the input groups. We want to create a margin between the inputs. That's between one input and the other. We want a 10 pixel top, bottom, then left and right. We don't want anything. So let's see. Yeah, so you see 10 spaces of 10 pixels is created in between the text boxes. Okay. Then what else can we do? So I'll call the input itself. So inside the input group, we have the input itself. That is this. So these are the inputs. And because they are inside the input group, that's why we called it. So that, assuming you have different forms or different input groups, you want to specifically tell the styling that you want to target the input inside this input group. Okay, that's why you call it before the input. Into what are we going to do, or how are we going to style it? How do we want to style it? So first of all, I'll call a width. I'll give it a width. That's the width of the text box now. So I'll give it 250 pixels, or should I make it 300? Let me make it 300. 300. Then I'll give it a padding. Inside the box, no be better type here. Oh man, space within the box, the padding. Then border radius is the edges. The edges near per se curve by 5 pixels. Until I save, let's see how it looks. Inside the edge is straight, it's not curved. Then the spaces too is small. Until now, let's see. Let me save this. Then we will give it a border. So we want border of 1 pixel. Then we want solid. Then let's give it this color, CCC. So CCC is kind of some grayish color. Let's see the effect now. Okay, so you see the effect is this. Then the font size, what people will type inside, and the placeholder, and I want it to be 16 pixels. So I'll use font size 16 pixel. That's the size that I want. So we are done with this. Then when somebody focuses on the form, that is will be clicking inner. So I'll use the pseudo class called focus. That is when somebody clicks in the form or in the input and answer text box. Now I want out an outline. Mempe outline here. So outline none. Then I want border. So border to show say obi I click it. So border color of 007BFF. Into this will add some gray, some light blue color. Let's see. Focus means obia clicking so be type bibia on say some blue, light blue lines behind abam. That is the pseudo class focus. When we are doing CSS or when I'm doing tutorials on CSS, I'll show you what all those things mean. Then let's style the login button itself. So login button, then so we will style it to look nice. Because as it stands, it doesn't look nice. So let's give it a width. The tinting on the man be 100 pixels. The finish increasing. Then let's give it a padding. Padding means in Choyene was on login no, and the space around the text no, and the button itself. That is the space within the button itself should be 10 pixels. So padding targets that. Then we give it a background color of, I think I'll use this color. Then I'll give it, no, I want background color, not border color. So background color. Okay. Then I want the text color to be white. So I'll use the hex code, either 6Fs or you can even type the word white. Then I want border radius of 5 pixels. That's the curves. Then I want border of none. In percent line be able to draw on the button. Then cursor. So cursor equal to pointer. That means will be pointer cursor and also I end and sun. Then I want a font size of 16 pixels. That is the login in Choyene also. A font size of 16. Let's look at how it looks. Yeah, so this is it. I think the border is there. Then the color too didn't work. Okay, I didn't style the right thing. It's supposed to be, what am I styling? Okay, sorry. This is supposed to come here rather. Yes. Okay, so let's check. Okay, yeah. So now you see the curves 5, then the text 16 pixels, then the margin, the padding of 10 pixels around the text and inside the button. Okay. Now academy, I think the button when it is hovered and also the mouse on the cursor, a change color. The background color of any dark blue kakra. 005656 B3. Okay. Then I think let's style into this one. I have to use the hover pseudo class till let's see its effects. Refresh. Okay, so when you hover, it turns to dark blue, a little dark blue. Okay. Now I cut the forgot password text. The forgot password text. The text align. We want the text to align in the center. That is move to the center. Then we want margin top. So margin between the forgot password and the button. We want a space of 10 pixels created. Then what else? The link. You see the link has an underline. The link has an underline. So let's check. You see this underline, we want to remove it. So we will use the text decoration. So text decoration, we will say none. That remove the line from there. Then we want the text color itself to be a bit lighter, so 007 BFF. So this is what we want. So let's see. Right, so it's a bit just like the color of the button. Then we want this button to push into the middle. So I'll just use the center tag to center it. So I'll just wrap center around the button itself. Okay, so now then the login to I want it to be in the middle. So I'll target the input, the login container H2. Then I'll do align text. Text align center. So this will push it to the center of the container that contains this text. So I think this is a simple login form. If you are to build a login form for a project, you can do this and it looks good. Inti more person programming, and so you can follow me and learn. Oh, share YouTuber, please subscribe to the channel, click on the notification bell. And our friends who are TikToker, follow me, share the video and like the videos. Now we will be doing more on programming into social web application development or website development. You can follow me. Okay, thanks for watching.